My name is Shane Gillen. I am a magician, and I say magician like this because the type of things I do, I'm pretty much a performance artist that deals in the, if you want to call it, the art of deception, and that obviously presupposes perception. So I say magician loosely, and I'll go into that in a minute. But if I do look at myself as a performance artist, then I suppose you've got to talk about where a performance artist gets their voice from or where they get their character from. Any performance artist, including a singer, a poet, an author, a comedian, should know their audience, know their voice, especially for someone like me. How do I want to be perceived by you? It's very important in my job. I tour a stage show around the country. It's very important that I know how my audience perceive me in order for my tricks to even work. Essentially, I'm a performer who deals in the art of perception. David Blaine is great. David Blaine is a good example of someone who knows their character, because he's this mysterious, kind of ghostly figure. Always looks drunk. I don't know what I'm saying. But obviously, he's not like that in real life. But because he's so mysterious, maybe his effects are more powerful because he puts on that persona. My story of magic doesn't start where everyone else's might. You might have heard a lot of magicians talking about how they started with their Paul Daniels magic set from their grandfather when they were young and all this. Mine actually starts down an alleyway in Temple Bar in 2008, where I was beaten up by 6 thugs and left behind a dumpster unconscious and found the next morning by a homeless man. So when something like that happens to you, you can either rise above it or lie under it, but there's no middle ground with something like that. And so, obviously, I chose to rise above it, and very quickly got out of the country, got a J1, went to San Francisco, wasn't a magician, went to San Francisco, and got a working visa in San Francisco. Now, 2 days prior to going to San Francisco, I went to the World Street Performance Championship with my father and my brother, and we saw this magician there named Charlie Caper, incredible magician. He's since gone on to win Sweden's Got Talent. Look him up on YouTube. Really good magician, and I couldn't get his tricks out of my head. So when I was on the plane, that was always in the back of my mind. And so I went to San Francisco, and my first day there was a sign in a window of a magic shop that said "Assistant Wanted" for the summer. And I was like, ooh, it's fate. And so in I went, and I was like, oh, I love magic. And obviously I didn't get a job because I had no experience at all, but I told them I did. But anyway, the seed had been planted, and I Googled magic shops in the area, and I came across this magic shop in San Francisco called Misdirections, run by this guy, Joe Pon, Chinese-American guy. And I really think I owe everything that I do today to this man here. But just to talk about the type of magic, this all has a point, I'll get to it in a sec. To talk about the type of magic I do deal in perception. I really want to know what you guys are thinking. This is what the bowl's about. What do my audience think? How do my audience feel? And that's what makes magic more, I want to say believable. Of course, real magic is the only magic that isn't real, so I want to say that's what makes magic more believable. To get inside someone's head, it's far more intimate, and to me it's better than turning a lady into a tiger or anything like that. So, it wasn't until this August that I really felt like I found my voice or my audience, and it wasn't me that found it. A reviewer from Hot Press came to this show, and obviously I got the Hot Press magazine as soon as it came out, skipped to the page, I read the review, but the last line of the review, maybe if I'm going over there I'm causing feedback, so. The last line of the review said that my magic wasn't about the paranormal, the dangerous, the spectacular, it was about the funny, the dexterous, and the genuinely puzzling. That last line is the basis of this whole talk, the genuinely puzzling. Hands up who's ever had one of these? Or played one? That's everyone in the audience. Some people are like, what is that object? So Rubik's Cube, okay? No time to get into that's what it looks like solved, okay? Now, you'll have to bear with me while I try and explain this. Imagine this was my trick. Imagine it's not, but imagine I was doing a trick here. You can do whatever. I'm turning the lady into a tiger, whatever. The outcome is that the lady will turn into a tiger. Now, I know that this is a puzzle. I know that the outcome of this puzzle is that it should look like that. Now, I know that you know that. And if I know that you know that, then I know that logically, you will think that I'll have to twist these bits in order to get to there, correct? Hands up who's ever solved one of these. Okay, keep your hands up if you've solved one of these by firstly prying off the blocks. That doesn't count. Someone else put up their hand, that wasn't me. Secondly, keep your hands up if, everyone's hand's gone down now, but hands up if you solved one by reading a tutorial or learning an algorithm. Yeah, okay, so that's fair enough, that's how they should be solved. It's actually incredibly difficult to solve one randomly. In fact, to solve one of these randomly, the chances of solving it randomly are 1 in 43 quintillion. Just made that up, it sounds great. 1 in 43 quintillion. And I read it on Wikipedia, it's such a reliable resource. Don't put this on TED.com. But just go back to the concept. I know that this is a puzzle. You know it's a puzzle, and you know what the end outcome should be, the lady as a tiger, say. Now, I also know that you know that in order for me to solve this, you know that I must twist the bits around. So what you perceive before you is the Rubik's Cube, and what you know is what it should look like when it's done, okay? So you know that already. So let's grasp the concept. If you know that this is a puzzle, just bear with me, and you know what it should look like when it's solved, and I know that you know it's a puzzle, and I know that you know what it should look like when it's solved, then logically, I should be able to make a fairly accurate guess or prediction as to how you think I'm going to solve it, i.e. turning the bits around or having the box that turns the lady into a tiger. That is a prediction, okay? So that's, in a way, that's what makes me psychic, okay? Obviously, it's the only cognitive explanation. Obviously, I'm going to turn the bits around, and that's what's going to solve the puzzle. I'd love to do it here, but anyway. And by the way, I've brought this around with me everywhere for the last 2 weeks trying to solve it randomly, and I don't believe it that he solved it. He said he did. So anyway, if we talk about scientific perception, I want to run on a bit here because I'm going to try an experiment in a while with your words. But if we talk about scientific perception, the process of perception begins with something known as a distal stimulus or a distal object. Now, a distal stimulus or object is the initial tangible, real thing, the Rubik's Cube. It's the real thing you have prior to, say, the percept, which is going to be this, the solved thing. And I'm talking about, the question mark highlights the grey area. I'm talking about the bit where I twist the bits around, and that's the bit that's, in your head, you're like, that's how he does it, you twist them around. That's a grey area, and that's where I like to do the magic, because no one can actually, no one can figure it out if I do it that way. Basically, what I'm saying is, let's highlight this grey area. You've got object A, for argument's sake, and object B. Now, is the first object the same, answer out loud, is the first object the same as the second object, just rotated upside down? It is. Someone said no, but it is. Now, how many of you did that by, kind of in your head, taking the left object and turning it to see if it worked? Hands up. Okay. And so I assume the rest of you, hands up if you did, took the right object, kind of turned that upside down. Hands up. Okay. How do you know you did that? It's completely invisible. You didn't really do that, so it's completely invisible. I mean, and yet I know that you did that, but it's completely invisible. Arguably random, but entirely predictable. Okay, entirely predictable. Now, this is the way our minds work. Now, if I know that your mind works like this is where we can play with the ideas of random thoughts, hypnosis, suggestion, sleep, and that's the end of it. I don't know. Suggestion. All that good stuff. To solve a Rubik's Cube randomly, remember, chances are 1 in 43 quintillion. That does not mean it's impossible, it just means that it's improbable. So maybe you did solve it. The very same can be applied to the idea of prediction. So we're going to try an experiment here. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Dara, if you want to join me on stage, Dara, a round of applause as he comes up. Have a seat. What'll I do with this? Try and get it. I really want to solve this. But okay, we'll come back. Okay. So, guys, you've each written down a random word, okay? Now, let's use Dara as the distal stimulus. He's going to be the distal object, okay? So he's going to stimulate all of you. Take that as you like. This is an experiment in the grey area. Sean is going to, this is my stage hand, Sean, sitting here. He's going to represent the grey area. And this is going to represent the percept. Basically, Dara, I'm going to get you to make a drawing in a minute. And the same way as people, did you write down a random word? No. No, actually, would you mind? Yeah. Just come on, no, without writing them down, just come on over for a sec. Would you mind just taking about 15 of those? I'll get my envelope of mystery. Without looking at it, that's perfect, that's probably enough.
You sure?
Yeah, just maybe about 3.
Yeah.
Okay, throw them in. Throw them in. This will make it better. I'm going to close it up. And would you mind sitting on that, actually? One cheek sitting. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter if I see what you draw. We're going to talk about the idea of how random is random. What a Dara Doyle cartoon. But anyway, Dara, I'm going to get you to make a drawing. Something simple, you know, something very simple. Maybe if it's pronounced, it's just a 2-syllable kind of word. Just make a drawing, but make sure you write what it is underneath it, so that when I show it to people, even people in the front row, they can, if you're a crap drawer or artist. Okay, so, and rip it out when you're done.
Okay.
Now, what I want you guys to do is guess what he's drawing, okay? Just think in your head, guess what you're drawing. He's drawing something simple, something that comes into your mind. It could be one of these things. These are things that, is it one of these firstly?
No.
No, good. Okay, it could be one of those. These things are the most regular things that come up, but it could be one of those. All right, Picasso, rip it out. And you can throw it in your pocket. Doesn't matter if I see it, but you can throw it in your pocket and just make sure nobody else sees. And equally, nothing goes through there. Okay, so we'll try this. Okay, so each of you wrote a random word. This is where it's going to get particularly interesting. Dara, you keep that in your head. You keep thinking of what you drew. And let's imagine that's the percept, okay? We're all going to guess what he drew, okay? We're all going to guess what he drew. Without making any reactions, start shouting what you think he might have drawn. Start shouting it. Go. Cupcake. Cupcake. Go again. Keep going.
Computer.
Flower.
Keep going. Keep shouting. Keep shouting. Don't react if someone gets it. Keep shouting. Okay, Dara, is it a 2-syllable word or a 3-syllable word?
3.
3-syllable word. Guess again? Elephant, Rubik's Cube. That's 2 words. I'll show you what I think it is. Now, if it's wrong, I'll explain why I thought this. If it's right, I won't, because it's very mysterious. This is what I think it is, okay? Now, equally, we haven't set anything up or anything like that.
I can honestly swear we have not said anything.
The other thing is I can prove that all of you know that this is what it is. And that's what I'm going to do in a minute, okay? But I think this is what it is. Out loud, what was it?
It was a camera.
A camera. So, okay, you can show everyone. Thank you very much. So let's go one further. Stand up. Completely random words that you guys chose, okay? Sorry if I'm walking out of the shot and everything. Now, this is where I'm going to give Sean a drop. Sean, you're going to write each of these words out on the white paper, if you wouldn't mind. Another one in there. Oh, yeah. This will all make sense. I'm still going to come back to that Rubik's Cube. There you go. You just write the words nice and big as you can. Just make sure there's nothing else in there. Good. Okay, so, did anyone guess a camera? Your man, he's like, yeah, I saw the Rubik's Cube and guessed the camera. Do a TED Talk. Deception, firstly, a lot of what I do is deception, right? Deception something I saw in another TED Talk. Deception is essentially a lie. I get on stage and I lie to everyone, and everyone gets fooled by it. But it's the only honest art, because I'm honest in my deception. I tell you I'm going to fool you, and then I do it. But a lie's power emerges only when someone else agrees to believe it. Okay? So if someone lies to you, it's only a lie when you actually agree that it's. If you agree to it, believe it. Otherwise, it can't be defined as a lie. So let's talk a bit about deception. Or let's do the clothesline thing. I need 2 people, if you guys wouldn't mind, just grabbing a bit clothesline there, bit of the clothesline there. I know it gets weird. Usually we put a spell on you music here, but anyway. Okay. These are your words that Dara has randomly selected out, okay? Start here. Apple, I bet they mean computer and not the fruit. If anyone wants to give a hand, you can. Dara, actually, if you want to grab any of the sheets you can and just hang them on the line. Sorry, you don't have to hold it so high. I'm not hanging clothes. There's just everything Sean's. Everyone's kind of like, what is going on here? I'll bring that over here. That would look nice there. If you see a word, don't say anything yet. That's what ant. It's very mysterious, isn't it? If you see anything, don't say anything yet. Don't say anything yet. Just grab that. Come on, Sean. Enzyme. Jeez, you know we're at a TED Talk. I'm going to get him now. I'm going to say enzyme. Actually, I'm really sorry if that was you and I'm just slagging you. Okay, where are we? Has anyone seen anything yet? Don't say anything if you see your word. So that makes no sense, basically. Okay, let's do this. A lot of turbulence.
You like that?
Arse. Put that beside enzyme. Excellent. Thank you very much. Give them a round of applause for helping me out. Dara, if you can take a seat again if you like. Okay, let's do this then. You'll understand what's happening in 1 second. And it works every time, I love it. Lamp. Igloo. That actually comes up in nearly every show. Okay, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to see if I swap anything. I know your arms are probably getting tired, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Can I just grab the marker there again? And just to go back to the last thing I had there, where I said, how random is random? These are completely your words. What do we have? Human, enzyme, what does that say? Wrestler, igloo, lamp, lollipop, drawing, what does it say? Random, drawing, random hours, weather, alien, cat, ant, what's that? Meat, economics, radar, and apple. Completely random, okay? Completely random words. I know some of you saw your words as they went up. I could hear you say it, but if there was such thing as random, or if we could defeat random, this is what would happen. Your drawing was completely random. I mean, completely random. So on the count of 3, everyone, nice and slow, call out the first letter of each word. 1, 2, 3, go. H, E, W, I, L, L, D, or A, W, A, C, A, M, E, or A. Let me leave you with this. Only through uncertainty is the potential to understanding.